Always told himself that it didn't matter where they lived, that a house was just a geographical location, that as long as Jenny and he were together, they'd be happy. However, Shane was also aware of how much he was going to miss the area. Money. Shane pictured his boat. He pictured a better one. I'm not above it. He wondered if it wasn't just because of Jenny's mother, if somehow he was the real cause of Jenny losing the house. Could Shane have done more? Perhaps unconsciously he was dispensing retribution on Jenny for her refusal to give him children. Taking out his phone, he texted his wife. Home early. Scanning the screens of emoticons, he chose a straightforward red heart. They had been barely talking before they'd gone out. He to meet a student researcher, and she to give a talk on interior design. His wife wanted to stake all their savings on a daydream, the fantasy being that a particularly clever and opportune investment would turn their 400,000 savings into over €1 million in a year. Then, with that incredible return, Jenny would anonymously buy their Clareville house from her mother, using the funds for both the mighty deposit and leverage for the mortgage. To Jenny, it all made perfect sense. Which it did, as long as the investment performed. Or, in other words, as long as her horse won. It infuriated him how Jenny persisted with her belief that, unlike her, he did not really understand money. It was as if she actually believed that unless you came from a particular class, then you couldn't possibly know what to do with substantial sums of cash. It was an innate snobbery that supposed that only people from a certain rank were trained to be wealthy. But Shane knew that money was not confusing. Being poor was. Despite the frustration, the disillusionment, the disappointment, part of him still wished that he could make the investment. How surprised Jenny would be! But Shane knew that he was 100% correct in turning it down. Cars, houses, Breitling watches, they were all just more accumulated trash that people hauled with themselves towards the grave. Shane also understood why Jenny had found it impossible to let the house go. For her 18th birthday, she'd been given a silver Mercedes. Shane had received 100 old Irish pounds for his, and he'd spent it on books. That had pleased his father, and that in turn had made his father's incredibly generous gift even more special. But Jenny came from a family that had everything, had once promised her everything, and had then unfairly snatched it all away. Now, Jenny wanted it back. She wanted it back before she was too old to enjoy it. She didn't even want her fair share. Her sister could get the majority of it, but she did want something. If her mother wasn't going to give it to her, then she'd try and take the only thing she could. Clareville. Most people started off with a sports car vision of their future. Then they hit 30 and realised that wasn't going to happen. But even though Jenny was 43, everything she wanted was still in the future. That was why she had to try and force him to gamble everything away for the chance of quick money, for the opportunity to claim this precious, precious house, to show her mother that she had underestimated her youngest and that she was so much better than the golden child, Joan. Her mother would finally see just why Jenny had been her father's most prized favourite. Shane was about to run up the steps to the front door, but found the best he could do was walk fast. Time slowed. It was like he was trying to build a tower to the moon. The more progress he made, the more he realised just how far away it truly was. He hated lying to his wife.